Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 13, I believe. Lucky number 13, unlucky number 13. You let me know whether it's lucky or unlucky for you. I'm hoping it'll be lucky for me because in this episode we have our first proper official event, LLW Tempest, which is very, very exciting. It's a 2-hour special. So we're trying to, get some big matches on here, as well as some other, crazy things. We've got 2 huge title matches. You've already seen them in the thumbnail. We've got Tyler Bate finally earning that King of the Lariat League title shot against Ashton Smith, and Millie McKenzie, who will be facing Ayesha Ray. You'll see why Millie McKenzie is facing Ayesha Ray in a moment, because of course I did kind of skip ahead to the beginning of April. So you have missed the first 3 TV shows of LLW, I think, and we have hit a little bit of a stumbling block when it comes to the TV shows, and I'm going to start with the product and explain why. So with our events, there was an expectation of 90% matches, 10% angles, which is perfect. That's what we wanted. But TV shows expect 75% matches and 25% angles, which I didn't really pay attention to when booking the first 2. I was kind of just blindly booking them without thinking about that. So we were getting some negative points and deductions and scores because I was ignoring that. I did look at maybe changing our product, and I did find a couple that would have worked that are similar to this. Although one reason why I haven't changed it is because where is it? It says each show, 1 match must be still the show, and the closest one that I could get to it, where this was 80% instead of 75, wanted me to have a technical masterclass every episode as well, and that's not really something I want to do. Although looking at our squad, let's say our roster, let's go technical, and let's go 70 is always a good range. There's a decent amount that's 70 plus, but at the same time we don't want to rely on any of those being in a match week in, week out just to get good scores. So I think we're just going to leave it as is, and if anything, this is an opportunity for some of our wrestlers to actually have a voice now, because it has mostly been William Regal promos and looking at our creative, and we go to talk the talk. We've got some people that can talk, Aleah Hotel Fantasma, Bobby Guns, who can speak English, Nikki Storm is here, Grado's great on the mic, and we've got a few other people that I'm sure have got plenty of charisma. I think I did an Ashton Smith promo on one of the shows, and it got a 60-something, which is fine. But speaking of the shows, let's look at the show history now. Let's go down. I think this was our first one. Yeah. So you can see there's a big dip in attendance, which is something that I knew was going to happen because these are obviously events. We were just about to hit around 1,000, and then we've gone to TV shows, and obviously it's gone down to around 300, which is fine. But because we're doing 4 shows a month, and then also there'll be an event every 2 months, the kind of money that we're getting in from ticket prices is kind of the same, maybe a little bit lower sometimes, but that's all good because our popularity has increased, our sponsorships and things like that have gone up, so I'm not fussed. But this is our first show here. We had Ayesha Ray defeat Chakara to retain her Queen of the Lariat League. This was our first TV show on week 2 in March. Got a 54. Grado and Mustache Mountain teamed up to defeat Absolute Andy and Boisterous Behaviour. Boisterous Behaviour being Leon Slater and man like Derice, or Derice for us. It annoys me when you click on this, it shows all of their default pictures and names. And then in our main event, we had a 4-way match. So we gave Ashton Smith the night off, and it was Corino defeating Charlie Garrett, Gursinder Singh and Kota Ibushi in a 69 rated match, which was very, very good. A 49 rated show overall, which you're thinking, how did that happen? That's because we had the penalty of not being 75% matches, 25% angles, because this was more around the 90-something% that I was used to booking. And the same thing happened again with this show. I made the show a little bit longer, just to kind of trial it. So this is an hour-and-a-half show. I got a 47 again because of me booking just one angle. I didn't learn from my mistakes, but I'm all fully aware of it now. And if anything, it's the chance to, as I said, to build character, and we can start adding some stories. Even though our product doesn't require stories, it's always important to have some kind of narrative. But we threw in some pre-show matches because I just wanted to give everyone a chance. I wanted there to be more women's matches on this one. So Funky Fantasma got the win against Big T, Little T in a pre-show. Aleah James defeated Debbie Keitel in a decent pre-show match as well. And Millie McKenzie and Nixon Newell got the win against Lynn and Stacey Baroni, our two regens, in a 45 rated match, which again is really good. Ayesha defended her title in a 4-way match against Rayne, Leverkusen, Zoe Lucas and Raven Creed to retain her title in a 38 rated match, mostly because Rayne and Raven are a little bit down the pecking order in terms of both performance and popularity. We then had Kota Ibushi and Mustache Mountain team up to defeat Absolute Andy and Boisterous Behaviour in a 74. Got some really good performances here. I think, yep, Tyler was the standout. Of course he was. And it is these numbers that have made me realise that we can't put this off anymore. Tyler Bate has to have a King of the Lariat League title opportunity. And the same with Millie McKenzie. Her numbers have been really, really good. So it's kind of hard to ignore that. William Regal then interviewed Grado before his King of the Lariat League match. And of course, Ashton Smith got the win against Grado. Ashton with the 67 performance. This would have been a pretty good card. Probably floated around the mid-early 60s. But I messed up the product again. And then finally, in this one, we actually abided by the rules. And we got a 65 rated show. And I'm sure you can see it because I literally popped so hard when I saw this. Timothy Thatcher and El Hijo del Fantasma opened this show, and look at this, an 87 rated match. 87. Timothy Thatcher with an 87 rated performance, El Hijo with a 69, which is fine, but they got, this was a work the crowd, to me work the crowds of perfect openers, and Timothy Thatcher carried this match to an 87. Jesus Christ, we're not going to come anywhere close to that anytime soon. Well, I don't think we are. But sorry, jumping ahead, let's just go back. Aleah James defeats Stacey Baroni. But yeah, that match was insane, completely insane. And William Regal announces 2 #1 contender matches. This was kind of a slight botch on my part because obviously Millie McKenzie defeated Nixon Newell and Nikki Storm, with a 60 performance, and she is now the #1 contender for Ayesha Ray. And then we did Mustache Mountain defeating Boisterous Behaviour, which would have obviously been Mustache Mountain taking on Gunnpowder for the Knights of the Lariat League. But pre-show, pre-whatever, I've decided to change the booking. Trent Seven has said that he will step down, and he has decided that Tyler Bate should accept Ashton Smith's open challenge at LLW Tempest. So you can see you got a nice 63 rated promo here, which is, pretty good for Ashton. So yeah, an open challenge that's already been answered. Tyler Bate has said that he will take it. Trent Seven stepping back and allowing the wise young man to have a go at the world title. And speaking of Trent Seven, I did speak to him and I was like, hey man, maybe you should become a road agent. And he said, you know what, I will. The trouble is, Trent Seven's not a very good road agent. Anytime he's been a road agent for a match, there's a negative score saying Trent Seven probably could have done a bit better. So even though I talked him into it, I don't want him being a road agent anymore. So I'm going to untake that. Sorry, Trent. In all honesty, I think Trent is someone that I'm probably going to let go soon. If I let him go, will Tyler Bate be unhappy? No. Awesome. Okay, that's good to know. I don't think there's anything else to show. I mean, our finances kind of took a hit. Last month we only made 39,000 instead of the usual 70-80. But first of all, I panicked slightly because I was like, oh no, that's not good. We're not making that much money. But it says here that we spent a load of money. Wait, hold on, where is it here? 54k on workers, but we didn't. We spent around 10 to 14,000 on workers because the rest of that was me paying off everyone that had morale issues here, which was pretty much everyone on our roster. So I got a little bit trigger happy and was like, I want everyone to be happy for when we start the TV shows. So I basically paid everyone. I think it was between 1,000 and 5,000. I think Grado, it took about 7,000 to make him happy. So yeah, I took that hit, and it was noticed here. But I'm sure when we get to the end of April, the money's going to be rolling in again. But what I have done though, which I think is a little bit cheeky, but I think it's also genius, is if we go to our alliance, the Global Wrestling Consortium, you can see that we have one more alliance member, and that alliance member is Dragon Gate, Japan Pro Wrestling. And the reason why I brought in Dragon Gate is because they make money. Looking at their amount here, they've got about 7 million. I went back to one of my older episodes. I think it was episode 3 or 4 when we were starting the Global Wrestling Consortium, and I think they were on about 4,000 or 5,000. So I'm like, they're making money, so I'll take that. And I compared them to like All Japan and other companies that we've got, and Dragon Gate have, I think, made more money than everyone else. So I invited them, they said yes. So Dragon Gate are now here to split their profits with us too, because why the hell not? But I believe I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Just looking at our events, you can see here Tempest is tonight. I mean, it says it right there, and here it is. I did the logos, might as well show them off now. So we've got Tempest here, can't really see it the best in this. We've got A Tale of Two Cities, made all of these myself, they're nothing amazing or special. We've then got the next pay-per-view after this, which is Ashes 2 Ashes. Do you get it? Because it's 2 cricket stumps and it's the number 2. I thought that was pretty cool. We have then got LLW Riot. We've then got London's Calling, which you've already seen before. And then to end the year, we've got Clock Strikes 12. I didn't want to be too on the nose and put a clock on it. I thought, if anything, I'll talk about the New Year resolution, the New Year celebrations and fireworks. But yeah, you've kind of seen everything now. We've only got 3 ratings here because, of course, the previous shows don't exist anymore, but they do still exist here. So our most recent Lariat League in London was actually our joint highest rated. So, you know, just goes to show that we are getting better, and yeah, it's all pretty lit. But I think I've spoken enough. I've said way too much. As I mentioned before, Tempest, I kind of read up on Tempest. I think I was slightly wrong on the story of Tempest, but it does still include family conflict. So there is still a theme of, you know, big teams against big teams, as in like a family warfare, family versus family. I mean, Romeo and Juliet's more family versus family, isn't it? You know what, I might read the Tempest just because why not? So I'll add that to my my Amazon wish list. My birthday's coming up, so I'll ask for it for my birthday. Or I'll just buy it. I mean, it's probably free on Kindle store, right? It's like 500 years old. Yeah, I'll do that. I can understand Shakespearean to a degree, but the theme of Tempest is there will be a 4-on-4 men's elimination match and a 4-on-4 women's elimination match, and I might add an additional stipulation to this that, you know, the winners get something. I don't know, but that will have to be on hold for now because I do have a slightly big announcement at the end of Tempest. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me stop talking and let's head straight into our first official event, LLW Tempest. Okay, and here we are. Lariat League Wrestling presents Tempest, our first real event of the series. And I've looked at the notes before booking, you know, when you get the booking notes ahead of starting the show, and 2 things popped up. The first was that William Regal is being used way too much as a road agent, and this will impact his performance, which means it will just get worse and worse throughout the show. So I've had to turn Trent Seven back on as a road agent just for tonight, in which I'll look to hire myself a better road agent going forward. So Trent Seven will be the road agent for all pre-show and not crazy important matches on the main card. And another note I got was Tom Scarborough, our referee, is doing way too much, and this is going to severely impact his performance. And unfortunately, there's no one else on our roster that, 1, wants to be a referee, and 2, has a higher referee score than 0. So I'm sorry, Tom, you're going to have to referee everything tonight, and I really, really hope it doesn't mess up our main events. But that's the lesson learned. So it's something, again, I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to bring in another referee, which, you know, is fine. I think Tom Scarborough's earning like $30 a week a show anyway. So we can bring in another referee that's just as good, and they can split it all up going forward. But we are here. We're hoping that those don't impact the show too much. And in the pre-show, William Regal welcomes the world, because yes, this is streaming on YouTube. You can see our numbers jump back up, our first 1,000+ show, which is also very, very exciting. We're back at York Hall, one of my favourite venues in London for independent wrestling, and we are streaming live on YouTube across the world. So William Regal opened the show, would have probably got a better score, but unfortunately Trent Seven, as you can see here, is not a very good road agent. I might jump into the back end and give him better stats, maybe, I don't know. Or I'll just strip him off and actually hire an actual road agent. That probably makes more sense. But moving to our next, we've got 2 pre-show matches. I thought I'd just try and fit as many people on the card as possible. And our first is a simple tag team match. We've got Jayde and Tennessee Honey taking on Nikki Storm and Rayne Leverkusen. And in a poor pre-show match, which is weird. Like, I think that's the first time we've ever seen poor in any of our matches. So the standards are getting higher with a 41. Nikki Storm and Rayne Leverkusen get the win. They defeat Jayde and Tennessee Honey in 19 minutes when Nikki Storm wins with the perfect storm. Nikki Storm here carrying the match, which is kind of expected. I really wanted to put her in the 4v4, but I wanted to balance like a face versus heel and make it clear. And we've just got way too many good faces in our women's division. We need some proper heels. But looking at the numbers here, Tennessee, Jayde and Rayne all in the 30s, which is fine. That's what I'd expect from them, to be honest. Nikki with a 54, which is great. Trent obviously affected it with his poor road agent work, and Tom Scarborough wasn't very good at as a referee as well. So yeah, we've gone up a level now, and it turns out our referee probably isn't good enough. Our road agent probably isn't good enough, and unfortunately this referee, we've got him refereeing everything tonight. So a little bit of a downer, but hey ho, we move on. Following this, there is our final pre-show match, and it's Colby Corino taking on Oskar Leube. In a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling but not much heat, Colby Corino gets the win in 17 minutes with submission, and Colby with a 63, which is really, really good to see, and Oskar Leube with a 38. He got better numbers as a tag team, so maybe he's a tag team guy. We're just going to ignore these reds from now on because we're probably going to see them every other match. But the colour commentary gave the match a boost, which was William Regal, so well done to him. We are changing Oskar Leube's gimmick, and it got rating adequate. That's fine. He's got an angry young man gimmick now. It's marketable, sell more merchandise, and a boost to his star quality, which is good. Just make sure he doesn't lose against Grado, I guess. Following this, though, we head straight into our main show, and we start with the 4v4 men's bout. This is an elimination format match, and I believe it is, let's see if I can remember. I believe it is our tag team Knights of the Lariat League, Gunnpowder and the Boisterous boys, whatever they're called, taking on the Swan and the Scotsman and Funky Fantasma. I believe that's correct. Let's head straight into it and see what happens. 70, nice. So in a bout that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Gunnpowder and Boisterous Behaviour defeat the Swan, the Scotsman and Funky Fantasma. Ryusuke Taguchi was eliminated first, then El Hijo del Fantasma, then Derice making it 3-2. Grado then went, making it 3-1. Corino then eliminated Bobby Guns, but it was Leon Slater and Timothy Thatcher that finally defeated Cara Noir. Taguchi was the weak link. It's good to see that everyone else did pretty good. Let's look at those numbers now. Derice with a 52, Slater with a nice 66, Thatcher killing it with an 81, Guns with a 61, yep, Taguchi with a 37, Fantasma with a 67, nice, Grado with a 59, and Cara Noir with a 75, whoa. Again, I feel like this is something that could have gone better if Tom Scarborough was slightly better at his refereeing. It's kind of silly that a referee can, lower the score, but we move on. So that is a big win for the Knights of the Lariat League and Boisterous Behaviour. Especially these two guys here, Leon and Timothy Thatcher. We will remember that they were the survivors in this match because that's important to keep note of. Following this, though, we have a little backstage segment where Tyler Bate and Trent Seven are hyping up his main event match. Trent saying, "I've taken a step back because I believe that the wise young man, Tyler Bate, is the future of wrestling and he will become the first man to defeat Ashton Smith and become our king of the Lariat League." And then Tyler just jumps in and just going, "I never thought that I would be royalty, but tonight I will have my crowning moment and become the king. So Ashton, while your reign has been lengthy and mighty impressive, the wise young man is going to overthrow the king." Lovely little promo there. 51 will take that. And yeah, Trent Seven being a great friend here and stepping down to allow Tyler Bate to accept the open challenge. Moving on from this, we have the women's 4v4 elimination match. Similar layout to the men's. Let's just jump straight into it because I can't remember everyone that's in it. But again, it's faces against heels. And we have Zoe Lucas, Debbie Keitel, Lynn and Stacey Baroni, the heels, taking on the faces, which are Nixon, Newell, Aleah James, Chakara and Jayde Brookside. Without even looking at who's winning, because I haven't looked yet, this is definitely the stronger side, let's be honest. But in a decent match, Nixon, Newell, Aleah James, Chakara and Jayde Brookside, of course, defeat Zoe Lucas, Debbie Keitel, Lynn and Stacey Baroni. Baroni was the first out, then it was Lynn, then Debbie, and finally Zoe. So it was a clean sweep. The faces, not a single one eliminated. So Nixon, Aleah, Chakara and Zia all surviving, not a single one of them losing. So that is harsh. I mean, to be fair, this is you got the two newbies here, so I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, who cares? Stacey Baroni was the weak link with a 19 performance, which is a bit of a shame because she's got really good numbers. She's got better numbers than Lynn. Lynn with a 35, but I guess Lynn's been wrestling a little bit longer, so we'll forgive her for that. Debbie with a 46, Zoe with a 46. It's quite funny because I think Zoe's listed as a star or main eventer, while Debbie's considered unimportant, but it just goes to show performances matter. In-ring skill matters. And then looking at the winning side, we had Chakara with a 38, Zia Brookside with a 49, Aleah James just coming on leaps and bounds week in, week out with a 52, and Nixon Newell with a 58. Annoyingly, Trent Seven was the road agent for this, so I feel like this probably could have got like a 52, 53 plus if it was a Regal road agent, but we didn't want to overload him with too much work. And did the referee? Yeah, of course the referee did. Got the crowd hotter though, and let's just recap the gimmick change because it is a debut from Jayde Brookside, using her second generation star gimmick, and it came across as, oh, awful, that's not good. But it gives a large boost to charisma during matches and angles, so we might try and tweak this gimmick or just change it completely because it didn't do well. And standard gimmicks are pretty boring anyway. Let's give her some character. Great pick though, I think that was a really good pick of her. But that is that. The faces conquer very, very convincingly. We then head into the next match, which was it's kind of an exhibition match. Gursinder Singh has told LLW that he has a surprise in store for them and has requested a big match. So we have granted that, and Kota Ibushi is in the ring waiting for Gursinder Singh. So let's move on and see what Singh's surprise is. Oh, but first, I guess there is something else. But first, William Regal talks with Ayesha Ray pre-match, just asks her how she's feeling about her upcoming match. And Ayesha Ray, cool as a cucumber, just says, it's just another day at the office. Millie McKenzie's come in. She thinks she's all that. She's not. I'm going to show her why I'm the queen and why I cannot be stopped. So yeah, Ayesha Ray doing some really good work here. We actually did rate Ayesha Ray in this, so she didn't bring the number down at all because her charisma's pretty good. And yeah, should be a great match. Millie McKenzie taking on Ayesha Ray for the Queen of the Lariat League title. But going back to the Gursinder Singh. He is making his way to the ring now with microphone in hand. And he says, ladies and gentlemen of the Lariat League, I am not here to wrestle tonight. Of which some, you know, annoying people are like, whee! And he's like, shut up. Because instead, I am here to introduce to you the finest export to come out of Japan. The Japanese death machine himself, Taishi Ozawa. And out comes Taishi Ozawa, shaven head, looking serious as hell, a very dull, lifeless expression in his eyes. He comes to the ring, very plain black trunks, black boots, young lion-esque, and just walks straight in. And Kota Ibushi's like, okay, I guess I'm facing this guy. Tom Scarborough's had his Powerade. He's ready to referee again. And Gursinder Singh is ringside with his new client, I would assume. You know, Gursinder Singh just loves bringing foreign export to Tempest tonight. Well, to Lariat League in general, but to Tempest tonight. And this export is not from Germany. It is instead from Japan. So next we have Kota Ibushi taking on Taishi Ozawa. And let's just recap the gimmick change because he is here. He has got the evil foreigner gimmick, and it's got a rating of great. Yes. And losses do not hurt his momentum as usual, which is good to see. So Ibushi, not Ibushi, Ibushi, Ozawa. Let's go. 54, decent, I'll take that. So in a bout that had decent wrestling but not much heat, Taishi Ozawa gets the win. He defeats Kota Ibushi in 15 minutes. And during the match, Gursinder Singh distracted Ibushi. So Taishi making one hell of a statement, defeating the Golden Star Kota Ibushi in his debut match. That is very, very impressive. Kota Ibushi's numbers are just a bit poor in my opinion. 56 rated. Ozawa with a really impressive 42 for his first match. And yeah, this could be the start of a great run for Ozawa. I'm sure he's going to grow and grow, especially under the tutelage of Gursinder Singh, who's got buckets of experience under him. And this match got the crowd buzzing, even though Tom Scarborough is not very good at refereeing, and the match was a little short as well. I didn't think this would be classed as an important match, which is why I had it go 15 minutes, but hey ho, here we go. Okay, we now have 2 matches remaining on our Tempest card, and it is the big ones: the Queen of the Lariat League bout and the King of the Lariat League bout. First up is Queen, second up is King. Let's just dive straight into it. And in a bout that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Millie McKenzie gets the win. She defeats our Queen of the Lariat League, Ayesha Ray, meaning that Millie McKenzie is our new LLW Queen of the Lariat League. And looking at the numbers here, deservedly so, with a 65 in-ring performance, as opposed to Ayesha's very impressive 63. 67 rated overall as well, which in all honesty, if Tom Scarborough was a little bit better at the refereeing, this could have been a 70+ match. Millie McKenzie with the Ace Crusher defeating Ayesha Ray, the Amazon, the badass Ayesha Ray, who honestly has been so impressive, but Millie McKenzie has done it. She is our new queen. She celebrates in the ring, holding the title high. The crowd are throwing those really annoying streamers into the ring, and Ayesha Ray just rolls out of the ring beside herself, losing her title. What a run she's had. The first time was great. The second time was even better. I'm sure Ayesha Ray will be back for revenge, but right now it's Millie's moment. She is our new Queen of the Lariat League. And the fun doesn't stop there, because we have got one final match. Ashton Smith, who has had the run of a lifetime, can he keep that momentum going as he faces what I would probably say is his toughest challenge yet? The wise young man, the big strong boy, Tyler Bate, who since coming into Lariat League has been mighty impressive and is probably our biggest star on paper. But Ashton Smith has done an incredible job leading this company. The best choice for our inaugural champion. I think he's on a 28 or 29, win streak of title defenses for his King of the Lariat League title, looking to extend that one more tonight in our biggest event so far in the company's history, LLW Tempest. Let's head straight into it. I really hope there's not an angle in between these two, because that will really ruin this momentum, but hopefully we will see Ashton Smith, Tyler Bate, one-on-one. Let's go. And in a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat, Tyler Bate, the wise young man, defeats Ashton Smith. King Ashton has been dethroned with the Tyler Driver 97, meaning we have got a new queen and king of the Lariat League. Tyler Bate is our new king of the Lariat League. Ashton Smith has fallen. The king has fallen. He has been dethroned in a 73 rated match, which could have been so much higher if Tom Scarborough was a better referee. But Tyler Bate with a 75, Ashton Smith with a great, amazing 68. The growth of Ashton Smith has been incredible, and his run will never be forgotten and probably never beaten, who knows. But Tyler Bate is the new king of the Lariat League at our biggest show of the year, well, our biggest show of the year so far, Tempest. And what a way to end the show. The streamers are coming down. We've paid a little extra for some confetti. Trent Seven comes running into the ring celebrating with Tyler Bate, saying, "I knew you could do it." He stepped back for a good reason, and Ashton Smith shakes Tyler Bate's hand and lets him have his moment in the ring as he makes his way to the back. And that is how we end Lariat League Wrestling presents Tempest. But post-show, when the cameras are off, the people on YouTube are typing their comments and their likes, and they're sharing it everywhere because we're the best. William Regal comes out and announces that there will be a Queen's Quest tournament starting at the next Lariat League in London show, and the brackets for that will be revealed at the beginning of the next show. Every woman available in Lariat League will be in that tournament, and the winner will face our Queen of the Lariat League, Millie McKenzie, at Ashes to Ashes, providing Millie McKenzie is still the champion, because anything can happen between then. It's a good 8 weeks, so you know, there's an asterisk next to the name Millie McKenzie, which is weird to say. I'm so used to saying Ayesha Ray when it comes to Queen of Lariat League, but that announcement was made just to hype the crowd up, and it's been revealed on our Twitter and in a separate YouTube clip that the tournament will be happening and the brackets will be revealed very, very soon. But that is now how we end our show. Let's see how we did. A 66, our highest rated show so far. Thank you. I was really worried that the poor road agent work of Trent Seven and the refereeing of Tom Scarborough would impact this, but no, I mean it did, but we prevailed. We did better. Obviously our production and stuff is a little bit low. I have upped some of them, not all of them, because obviously I don't want to be spending too much week in, week out at this level when it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, what a show. Amazing. 2 new champions, a new king and a new queen. A huge debut from Taishi Ozawa. A clean sweep in the women's elimination match of Nixon, Aleah, Chakara and Gia. Gunnpowder and Boisterous Behaviour, well, more specifically Timothy Thatcher and Leon Slater, proving that they are the guys to beat, and also some great pre-show work too. But let's make a speech, and in all honesty, I don't know who to talk to. Normally with debuts we give them a hug, but I'm kind of going to let them slide because we've got new kings and queens. So Tyler and Millie, come here, I'm giving you a hug. And you know what, Ashton, you deserve a hug too. You've had one hell of a run as champion. It will never be forgotten, and you will always be heralded as one of the biggest stars, an LLW original who's not going anywhere. And let's be honest, there's every chance he could win the title back at some point. So these three all deserve big hugs from me because they've done incredible work tonight and will continue doing incredible work in the LLW's future. So let's swap these over because we want to end it on our new King of the Lariat League. Ashton Smith's pleased, Millie McKenzie's pleased, Tyler Bate is pleased, and that is our first event complete. LLW presents Tempest in the record books, in the history books. Biggest show so far, best show so far. New champions. You love it. And that is how I'm going to end this episode, guys. I know it was just the one show, the one event, but let's be honest, a ton's happened. We need a breather. Next episode, we will get through most of April. Hopefully we can get through all of April. It'll be back to back to back to back shows. I'll have to see how long they do. I have reduced LLW in London to just 1 hour shows, so it should be like 5-6 minutes a show. I think that's what it averages at the moment. Remembering to add some promos and segments. We've seen here that we can do it. We get 50 plus from most people, so we'll do that. We'll also have the Queen's Quest tournament starting from our next episode, where every single woman that is currently hired plus 2 more that I'm trying to sign will be included in that. So it's going to be an incredible tournament featuring the best and, well, the only female talent in LLW. But in the meantime, please like, comment, subscribe, share, do it all. I'm going to hire a road agent. I'm also going to hire another referee, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.